Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. Today we got some Batman news, X-Men Apocalypse deleted scene, and Wolverine 3 updates. Alright, so before we get to the news today, Sal, I'm in a giving mood. For the month of October, we're going to do some Canon giveaways. Now, the way you win this prize is we're going to tweet out or share our Facebook post with our videos when we post them. If you retweet that tweet or if you share that video on Facebook, you'll be automatically entered to win the prize. Now, Sal, are we going to let them do tweet and Facebook? Does that count as two?
No, it's probably just one.
All right, you heard it here. Pick one or the other. So be looking out for that. Share it with your friends. Let them know so then you got more chances to win. Anyway, our first prize will be going out October 1st. We'll pick the winner that day and we'll ship it out that day once we get your address. Now, you want to know what you're going to win. First up, we got Captain America Civil War. Not this one. This is my copy. I'll be getting you a Blu-ray version with all the special features, and we'll send that out to you. And then we'll have 3 more giveaways for the rest of October.
Can we enter to win?
Huh?
Can I enter to win?
Yes, Sal, but I'll claim your prize if you do win.
Well,
so
that doesn't help me.
Please go out, share as many times as you like, and for those chances to win. Now back to the news. First up, we got Zack Snyder dropping the pictures on Twitter as he does. We got the tactical Batman suit was shown to us. Apparently, they were doing their last day of filming in the suit. We don't know if that means it's later in the movie or when it is coming, but the image is out. Sal, what do you think about it?
I think it looks pretty damn awesome, if I do say so myself. It reminds me of Arkham, the Arkham series games. Pretty much exactly like that. Like the big plated Batman logo that's still on his chest, like in the original suit in BVS. But let's get to the headgear there. A lot of people saying it looks like Watchmen's Night Owl, man. Yeah, Night Owl. And you know it does. It's the goggles. The goggles kind of just give it that feel. But I'm not worried. I'm not mad. I don't think anyone is making that big of a deal out of it. I think it could look really cool. There could be some effects in there in the post-production room. So we'll see how it goes. And the tips look a little bit different.
The tips.
The tips.
Just the tips.
Just the tips. But other than that, I think it looks pretty damn cool. So I think this is the Batman suit we kind of been waiting for.
As far as the aesthetic, it honestly has been a little weird to me. And we kind of seen Ben Affleck how he looked, and we saw him in the other suit, and I always wondered like how much of that was the suit and how much was him, because he looked super bulky.
They said he was getting too big to fit into the suit, so I think it was all him.
Well, we look at this suit now, and it does. Ben Affleck is either really squeezed into that suit, or he's not as bulky as we might have thought. So it is very Christopher Nolan Dark Knight-esque, where it's more sleek and tactical.
Yeah.
And that's designed by purpose, but just Ben Affleck in that suit, it looks a lot more uncomfortable than it did when Christian Bale had it. As far as the goggles and stuff, check the scene. The man has obviously got some sparks, and we don't know where he's at, if he's on the Flying Fox, where he's doing, but it looks like he's doing some real hardcore work, and you need goggles for that type of work.
Doing some welding on the side.
Yeah, he's not actually wearing those goggles, I don't think. I think that was just for the scene of whatever's going on with the sparks flying. The first thing it reminded me of was Alfred for some reason. It was just like how Alfred was very, technical and very hands-on in this version that we're seeing him, and it appears that Bruce Wayne is too. While he's been a great detective, we never seen him working on cars and building stuff, so he was never Tony Stark, so that was interesting. So the look of it is weird. I don't think we'll see it a lot, but we'll see. I think it'll look better on the big screen. Definitely. As far as the concept it brings up, I love it. I love the fact, because you think about it with this now, this is like 3 different Batman suits that we already got.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, this and that, why this, why that? You gotta remember, 20-year-old veteran. That's the beauty. You don't have to explain anything. He has a lot of toys, and so whenever he shows up with new stuff, hey, I'm cool. Now we heard about this suit. Apparently it controls the flying fox, and we knew it was sleeker. But I'm interested in what mission or what circumstance he needs it for, where he has to be maybe more quick, or
I think definitely parademons, something to do with them.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because they're inhumanly strong, so you would think he would have some more like he used against Superman, rather than this, where it looks like he's trying to be more stealth and move quicker. So it might be a beginning mission in the beginning where he needs to be quicker, or something in the end. I don't know, but it raises questions that I'm very interested in. The only thing I'll say though is, if you watch BVS, you saw the man in the corner and how fast he crawled across that that roof.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him being faster than that, so that's a scary thought. He's going to be super agile now.
We'll see.
All right, so next up, X-Men Apocalypse has been on a real weird and misplaced marketing push. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen a lot of X-Men Apocalypse stuff lately.
I haven't.
Like White Castle has like a huge push.
It's shouldn't that been like
right? Shouldn't that happen when the movie came out? So now Apocalypse got his own White Castle sandwich. It's just like all this stuff. I'm seeing commercials that I didn't see. You know, during it we saw commercials with Nightcrawler and Storm. I'm seeing more of those now that I didn't see before. And now we got the deleted scene, which was the mall scene. I don't know who released it, but the copy I saw didn't look real. But it might have been bootlegged. I don't know if the official is out, but it's out there.
Yeah.
And it's part of the special feature. So, Sal, what'd you think of the scene?
It was fun. It was cool to see them interact with the outside world, because we haven't really, I guess we have gotten that, but it was more of a relaxed atmosphere. So it was weird though seeing that, because you kind of compare it to the first X-Men movie, the original in 2001, where they were secretive about what they were doing and who they are. But here they were just out there, and like all these people were like, they were looking at them, but they didn't really mind them.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit weird to see that, but when you think back to First Class and then obviously to Days of Future Past, everyone knows who mutants are now and that they exist.
True.
So, but yeah, it was just a little weird, and I had to kind of bring myself back to remember that. But it was a fun scene. I don't remember how it ended. I feel like I maybe didn't get
it just ended well, it technically ends where the shot in the movie actually is, with the Star Wars marquee.
Oh yeah, okay, I did see that. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. Nightcrawler obviously was the most entertaining in it, so it kind of gave him a little bit more of a time on the big screen. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It was real. It was reminiscent of just those 80s movies. It was fun. It's exactly what you pictured when you watched the actual movie, and they were like, hey, let's go to the mall. We didn't get to see it, but that's probably what most of us would have pictured it would have looked like. So you saw a glimpse of Jubilee using her powers, which I thought was fun. But yeah, the Nightcrawler in plain sight was kind of weird. But everyone was just like, oh, whatever. So that was different. But yeah, I had fun with it. Do you think that should have stayed in the movie?
No. Again, the X-Men movies are fun. They have been a little bit more fun in this trilogy at least. But that movie Apocalypse was pretty serious. So I think it would have taken away from the tone just a little bit too much.
I agree. I agree because of the placement of it in the movie.
It was right before.
Yeah, so that whole mall thing happens right before the Apocalypse. Well, right before Apocalypse takes over Xavier and lets all the nuclear things go off. Then they show up, still Xavier. Then they blow up the house. Havoc did it on accident. But then you get the Quicksilver scene. So they already mixed serious with fun. Yeah. But it would have been too back and forth. Like if it was like, oh, that great mall scene. Well, what the crab's Apocalypse doing? Oh wait, but it's Quicksilver. Yeah. It would have been too jarring to have it at that moment. I think it would have fit in the movie somewhere else. But yeah, where they had it, I'm glad they took it out. All right, next up we have, I don't remember. Okay, so the Russo brothers were being interviewed about Infinity Wars. and they were directly asked, "Are the Netflix Defenders going to be in Infinity Wars?" And they quickly answered, "Everything's been cryptically said everything's being considered at this point." Now, a lot of people are saying that doesn't mean much. Don't take that anywhere. And I can understand. It was a short answer. But Sal, we talk about this a lot, but do you think logistically it could work?
I think logistically, yes, because you have this huge universe with 67 supposed characters, and
Right.
they are pushing 67. But I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I would like it to happen, but I just don't think it is. It's a movie world. In this movie, yes, like you said, logistically it can work, but I don't think they're gonna do it. That's just my natural reaction to that.
I really hope they do. I think it definitely can have. The one thing I'm hearing a lot of people talk about is the tone. They're really saying that if you put them in the movie, it's going to mess up the tone of the shows, because the shows are much more down to earth and gritty, and that if you see them in this more colorful MCU, it's going to mess it up. But for me, I don't feel that way at all. Like I could separate the two, like with any other cameo that you see, and I don't think Infinity Wars overall will be the yuck fest that people think it's gonna be. Like, you have to get serious at this point.
Yeah.
Even we saw with Civil War, like they sprinkled in the lightness, but it was pretty serious. Yeah. And so I don't think you're gonna jeopardize the tone. But even if it was, it's not like they're here the whole entire movie doing stuff.
He actually, I forgot which Russo brother, but he did say, everyone has, it was something to the effect of everyone has their place and we'll make it work, or something like that. So it sounded like if they are going to be in it, they're going to, no matter how small their part is, it's going to be the right fit for the movie or something like
exactly. I mean, even outside of the regular MC or the regular Avengers, you got the Guardians of the Galaxy coming in too from their movie, and so there's not going to be enough screen time to service everyone in full extent. So whoever is at it is going to have a specific part and shorter role. So me seeing Jessica Jones or Luke Cage or any of that, or even you can even have it where it's the end scene where you just need everybody out there fighting, like, and that makes sense. Now it's connected technically, but in practice they don't connect much. But they say it's in the same world. When you watch TV shows, they mention certain things, not by name, but they lightly mention it. So you telling me this world-ending event is gonna happen, and they're sitting in New York like, like, no, they're gonna help. So I think it could work, but I think just story-wise, if you don't do it, that's gonna hurt it more. Because then I'm watching the TV show like, really? Like, you guys are doing this? There's Thanos and whatnot going on. And they all live in New York, so, like, that's the epicenter. So there's no way they can just not be a part of the movie for me. What do you think about a recast?
That's a whole nother topic. I don't think I would want them to. I'm fine with the shows. I like the shows. Don't recast it. I don't know.
Well, the talk, right, I think that's been thrown around as a bigger possibility than putting in these people. It's just to have a different Daredevil, a different Luke Cage and Jessica Jones for the movies than the actual TV show. And I think at that point you completely killed the connection between the TV show and the movie. Yeah,
that, and I don't know, I feel like that would be for the sake of having them in the movie, which then at that point, is it worth it? To me.
Well, for me, they're going into phase 3. They're going to spin off for phase 4, where you got a whole new group of people. It makes sense that you have a Daredevil, maybe not Jessica Jones, not because she's a female, it's just because of her character. But Daredevil and Luke Cage are more popular, and so it makes sense that you could have a movie about Luke Cage and Iron Fist actually doing their thing on a Daredevil movie. So it makes sense they want to introduce these people. But to get different people, I think that would just, sever the ties for good.
Yeah. the complications with TV and movie.
Yeah, speaking of, the next story has nothing to do with that. But anyway, Margot Robbie has been reported by THR as signing on to be executive producer for the Harley Quinn spinoff movie. Very interesting because last we heard this movie was very much up in the air. But now they're reporting, not confirmed by WB, but they're reporting that Margot Robbie is going to be executive producing it. And it's going to be all female, jammy jam. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, so the news is her and Birds of Prey, I believe. And was Nightwing in that? I don't know.
No, Batgirl.
Batgirl, yeah. Anyways, I like it because it gives them what Marvel is trying to do in Phase 4, like you said, introduce these new characters, and it kind of gives them, reason to say, hey, we're giving you a movie, but it doesn't necessarily run within our main character storyline, if that makes sense. So that's what I like about it. Her being an executive producer, a producer can mean 100 different things, especially an executive producer. Your name could be tied to it, and you could be giving money to make the movie and not do anything. So that comes with a grain of salt, though her being the actual character kind of makes me think that she is going to have a lot of input on this, which is fine for me. She seems to be dedicated to the character thus far. And I liked her as Harley Quinn, so I don't have any problems with her being on as a producer. But yeah, like I said, it gives more excuse for them to introduce all these newer characters, lesser known. So I like it.
Yeah, I agree with you about the producer thing. Some people said that she might be starting up a producing company, and so even if her company is doing the work, she would get that credit as the executive producer. So we don't know exactly how she's going to affect the movie, but I'm thinking she's an executive producer like Ben Affleck is an executive producer to Justice League, where if it comes to Batman, he's got his input on it. And so maybe she's like just not babying, but taking care of her baby, which is the Harley Quinn character. Now, for me, I don't think any of this is true because, like I said, the last we heard, this movie was very up in the air. We even just did the video on all these massive leaks on DCU. Didn't hear a word about a Harley Quinn spinoff movie. So I don't know how accurate this actually is. But even if it was, I don't see her like the Harley Quinn shepherd, and Ben Affleck might not be that yet, but he's a lifelong fan and all that, people that have investments in these characters, like a Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool, like a Channing Tatum with Gambit, supposedly. But Harley Quinn's just too new of a character for me to believe Margot Robbie has a dying passion to create justice for the Harley Quinn character. So I don't know, I sell it, the whole thing together. I don't really believe it. But if it was the case, like I said, I think it would just be more her, having kind of final say on what Harley Quinn does and doesn't do. And no more booty shorts, of course. That's probably going to be her number one request. All right, so moving on. A long time ago, we had the rumors come out about Iron Man 3. And the rumors were that Rebecca Hall was originally the main villain. And this was changed in the script because Disney was worried that a female villain would not sell enough toys. Now, Rebecca Hall has came out recently and confirmed these rumors, saying that the role that she signed up to play, the script that she got, was vastly different than what she actually ended up playing, and that as they started shooting it, the studio kind of came in and said, yeah, let's go a completely different route with this. So how does that make you feel?
It just shows me that Marvel isn't willing to take risks with their movies, and they like to play it safe, which is smart. It's obviously worked out for them, but could you imagine back in 2012, or it might have been 13, if they would have had a leading woman villain? I think they would have gotten a lot of credit for it. I think, especially with the Iron Man character, it could have worked, and I thought it would have been entertaining. I liked, up until what was the villain's name?
The Mandarin.
The Mandarin. Obviously, everyone liked the Mandarin up until a certain point. But imagine how much different it could have been. It was very Marvel cookie cutter. So I would have liked to see that. I like Rebecca Hall as an actor or an actress. So that would have been entertaining to see her kind of take on that role and see what would have happened. But to give the excuse that it wouldn't have sold enough toys is pretty weak in my book. So I don't know. I mean, again, it's smart. It's business. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I think the effect they thought it would have had, I thought it would have had the reverse, and I thought it would have worked out for them.
Well, I'll just say that I really am not a fan of Iron Man 3. No, that movie was very weird and out of place. Not only did you take her from the main villain, then you, spoiler alert, like killed her off in the most dumb, random way. And I'm sure she wasn't happy about that. And toy sales. Who are you selling? Because, what's his first name? Killigan? Aldrich Killigan was the main bad guy in the end. What toys is he selling? That's like Guy Pearce in bad wig. So, like, what toys is he selling? The Mandarin wasn't even the real Mandarin. And so you weren't selling those toys. So please explain to me why you thought you were going to sell more toys. But anyway, my point is, with all that being said, none of this shocks me. This is big business. As douchey as you might think it feels, as douchey as you think it sounds, it's big business. Like, Marvel is not excused from it. A lot of people feel like Marvel is this savior. They do it for the fans. They get us. They're not here for money. They just want to give us quality film. And yes, they employ a lot of nerds that care about it. But at the top, these people just want the cash. So I'm not shocked at all that they made this decision. You bring up a good point. The effect they thought that having a female would have on the toys, you feel like it would have been a reverse effect. So while they sat there and said having a female would or decrease our sales, you think it would increase because they were being inclusive and progressive. That's the trigger word.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about so far for the toy sales. They might be right on that. Whatever.
But for the movie
and for the universe and the company as a whole, I think people would have liked it. So.
Yeah. So, and I agree that's a big point, because now we see 3 years later, that's what everybody's banking on. Yeah. It's like, oh well, I'm going to get her because she's a female. We're going to change this just because of female.
First, and they weren't.
And it's like, I don't know. I think an overuse of anything is bad, because I hate all this. Oh, we're just going to do it, but make it female because it shows we're whatever. So yeah. That all backfired on them, and it just kind of shows you the big business. I heard people would say like, well, they've grown since then, and that, back then, what they say, people were saying, you see how much we've changed in 3 years and grown. Whatever. That's because female stuff is popular now. If it was not making money, they still would not be doing it. They didn't grow anything. That people's appetite changed. They want to see progressive stuff, so they're like, okay, well, that's what's hot, we're going to do it now. So don't ever get it twisted. No matter how good DC, Marvel, Fox, any of these movies are, they're all just doing it to make money. So big business. Alright, so last we got Brie Larson, who will now be playing Captain Marvel. She was interviewed about taking the role, and she has some interesting comments. I'm just going to read a few. She talked about how taking the role was not about, whenever she does movies, it's not about putting her face on stuff. It's about the material. It's about the movies and all that. So I'll read what she said. It's about the material, and movies live on and can be places I can't. And I want to be conscious about what it is that I'm presenting to the world and what those representations of life are. and how they're being shared. And obviously Marvel, such an incredible platform to be able to share in storytelling. I think what Captain Marvel represents and what this film is shaping up to be has a message that's undeniably important to the world right now. Sal, let me go first.
Yeah.
This is kind of exactly what I was talking about. It's just the political correctness. I take it back. I don't necessarily like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. I already said that. Just the fit, I don't think is there. And she's an incredibly talented actress. She obviously is very intellectual and cares about more than just the money in the movies. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is the role for all that. I don't think this is the platform. We're not trying to make this a political statement or a social statement. Like, you can have elements of that, but flying that flag before the movie's even shooting, it rubs me the wrong way, in the exact same way that the Supergirl TV show did, where I think they hit a big misstep thinking like, this is female audience, female driven, which is fine, but they overdid it. It was like every single thing was, oh, a girl, I'm a girl doing this. And it's just like, okay. Like
they don't trust the audience enough to appreciate.
I don't think they respect the material enough. It's like, okay, let it be what it is. Let the character be who they are. Bring out the best parts of that character in the story. Oh, this character's female, so that's why you should
here's
care.
The material. It's gonna work. Let it work. But they take and throw it in your face.
It's like they want us to care about the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And instead of caring about character for their story, we want to care because it's a female. And she seems like she's going into this like, cause she even said, I don't think it was in this quote, but she was saying, it's important to me to have to be that new costume that girls want to wear and be the hero that all these girls want to be or something like that. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong person to talk about, but to me it just rubs me the wrong way. It's like, it shouldn't be looked at as like that. You know what I mean? Because we get it as male dominated and why it's male dominated historically, but no one ever wrote a character like, oh, we got to do this for the guys. We want all the guys to look up to this guy. Like, no, you just wrote the character for what they were. Yes, they chose the gender to be male most of the time, but people gravitate female or male to that character. Don't come with me like Captain Marvel. She's a female. Like, that's not the draw.
Yeah.
So her comments kind of rubbed me wrong, man. What'd you think?
I can agree with that, but I don't blame her for saying it at all. And that's how she feels, and the person asked the question, so she answered it. So I don't blame her for that, and it doesn't really rub me the wrong way. I understand 100% where she's coming from, but I also understand what you were saying too. So if we start to see it maybe from like the studio, say if we saw the teaser trailer for it, and they had some tagline like strongest woman, I don't know, something of that extent, where they are pushing that she's a female hero, then yes, then I would blame more so the studio. But her, I don't think I can blame. But I'm interested to see how the studio takes this.
Yeah.
And how they're gonna market it.
It's a tricky slope because, well, my real question is, after her comments, she's saying this movie is going to say something that's important to the world right now. So how is that affecting the script? Like, is this is this a regular hero story, or are we trying to make this a big statement movie? And the same thing with Supergirl is my best example. I was 100% fine with it up until the first trailer. Like you said, once we see the trailer, you'll know, because it was just like, the same. You remember that? Did you see the SNL sketch with Black Widow when they made the romantic comedy?
I might have.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. It's like, I don't remember, Kara, Supergirl's her real name. She's like walking, she like buckles her heel and drops something like, oh my God, or her boss is yelling at her, and it's just so hard being a girl. And then she decides to be a hero, and she's fighting, and women find out they're stronger than they act. It was so like blatantly cheesy, just ridiculous. Not even feminist. It was just like cliche. It was like, if they make it I'm a girl, but she's a girl and she's strong and I can be strong just like her, I'm going to throw up in my mouth. Just saying.
Well, we'll see. Now we have something to look forward to.
Yep.
Well, I was looking forward to the movie anyways, but I see what you're saying.
Alright, so sorry Marvel, we bashed you. But anyway, that is the show for today. Sal, any last comments? Where can the people find us?
No, just make sure you retweet and share those videos. This video, is it this? No, we're going to start it.
No, you can share this video.
Well, yeah, you can share it. But the contest doesn't start until the week before October 1st. But anyway.
No, sorry, clarification. You can do it up until.
Oh, okay. So share this video, get registered to win Civil War. Share it now. And you can find us on on Twitter at The Canon Vlog or on Facebook, facebook.com/The Canon. Terry.
Go Bears. And if you heard here, it's Canon.